Hi guys, this is IntroducingEmy, and I promised that I would do a little beginner's tutorial on Sculptris, and so here it is. The first thing I'm going to go over is the tool area, and you might notice a little dip in quality in the video just because I have to pan in, but here we go. So when you open Sculptris, there'll be a ball, which is basically it. That's what you're going to work with, and then these are your tools. This one is crease, rotate, scale, draw, which this is, I think, the default. This is like what you're usually set on. I believe this is flatten, move, extrude, pinch, and one of these is flatten. I think this might be smooth or flatten. It's one of these two. I can't remember. These are some different tools to reduce and increase polygon count, which is not really something that I'm going to get into. That's more for like more complicated 3D modeling. We're just going to be using this to drop a ref. And this little tool here, the double arrow, means that it will mirror your composition on both sides, which is important for making a character's head because usually characters are pretty symmetrical. This will create a new object. I think these are, wait, can't remember which is which now. Oh, there's my tool. I was wondering why I wasn't getting any highlights. So new sphere, import, export, new plane, open, and save. So, and don't worry about that. So that's smooth and that's flattened. Okay, I think I was right the first time. Anyway, so another real quick thing to know is some tools have a global setting. And what global means, like for instance, I clicked grab here, which is the little rose hair, or the the crosshair, like the little compass rose. Some settings will be global. So right now it's set to grab, and if I pan back out, you can see that just by using the bracket keys, I can make the brush bigger and smaller. If I grab, if you see the circle, that just means that it's going to grab and just pull different parts. All right, so just like that. But if I have global ticked off, it'll take the whole thing and move it around, okay? We don't really need that. Oops, I don't need to save that. We don't really need the global movement, so we're not going to worry about that. But just to let you know it's there in case you import another object in. So first things first, what I like to do is just extrude, or I shouldn't say extrude, I should say I would like to grab and give myself a chin. And if you click anywhere in this gray background and hold down, you can rotate, okay? So you can look at it from all angles. And this line down the center, just, it's like a general guideline so that you know where the middle is, and it kind of helps you reorient the figure. So we've just made a really simple chin. In fact, we could pull this a little more. And you can see by making the brush bigger and smaller, you can get like a lot of control over it. So all we've done is make just like a very basic head shape. And if you're good at sculpting, this program will probably feel really comfortable for you, I should think. So now what we're going to do is, let's go to smooth. Yeah, let's go smooth. We're just going to create some eye sockets. Just real gently brush in this area. Oh, and I should mention that this works just like Photoshop would work. A little less control, obviously, because you're not drawing. It's a little more intuitive, I guess. It's not as detailed, but it works similarly with, you know, the size, the strength, the softness of the brush. So you can mess with that to your heart's content. Oh, and you can also import brushes. I have a bunch of brushes, but I haven't gotten any of them to work yet for some reason. I don't know why. So here is just some general eye sockets. And you could also Let's go to the crease tool actually, and let's just like sketch in where a nose would be and where a mouth would be. I'm actually using my Wacom tablet to do this, so alright. So now we've made the eyeballs and we're just going to sink them in a little bit. And let's inflate. So we're going to take the inflate tool and we're just going to try to make a nose form that doesn't look like a penis. Let's oh wait, I didn't have it on inflate, I don't think. I think I had it on draw, which is why I wasn't getting the effect I wanted. Oh no, don't crash, don't crash, no! One moment. Okay, hello crash. One nice thing is it will do autosaves for you, so we didn't lose much work. So real quick, let me, it's because I'm recording. So it's really unprofessional of me. I apologize. Alright, so here we are back where we need to be. And I'm going to knock the strength up a little bit and inflate a nose out. And depending on how detailed you want to get with this, you could really spend a lot of time just finagling around with everything. I like to do a slight inflation above the lip, and I know it looks a little bit like a mustache, but that's where the smooth tool comes in, and you can just smooth everything down. Now, I'm not doing any character in particular. I'm not working for a ref. I'm just sort of doing shapes that I know. So I'm kind of building a face out of nothing. So if you were to use this model for animation, you probably wouldn't want to give the character any expression. You want everything to kind of be in neutral. But I would, when I do my faces, I usually put them in a smile, just for the heck of it, I guess. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention is to take your flatten tool. Now this depends on the character, but my characters have the sides of their skulls are flat. So what you can do is just take your flatten tool, smooth that down. And I'm actually going to take some of the sides of the head here and just sort of and again, you can take your smooth tool and just kind of brush everything. Not that much though. Okay. Also, if like let's say your character had like a really pronounced, now why isn't that? I'm not sure. Sometimes this acts a little pressure sensitive with my Wacom pad, and other times it doesn't, and I'm not really sure like how it decides when to do that. I don't know if it's just a little laggy because I'm recording or something, but who knows. But what I was gonna say is you could even like draw a really pronounced brow ridge on a character. You know, things that would normally be kind of, how would I put this? So like normally when you would like model a character for 3D, you wouldn't necessarily model hair or eyebrows, but because we're going to use this as a reference tool, if you have any like large objects attached to a character's head, even if it's like bangs or like things that you wouldn't normally put on a computer model for animation, it would be handy to have them there so that you have a reference to the rest of the head. And I have some completed models of other characters that I actually use that I'll show you in a minute here to illustrate what I mean. So one thing else I like to do is see how like smooth this is in here. It's a little hard to see any definition. Is if you take your flatten tool along the sides of the nose, you can kind of get a little more of a crease in here. Now I am lagging quite a bit, so it's a little harder for me to make this as beauteous as I would like it to be. It's kind of making me sad right now. Let's give him some cheeks. Again, using the inflate tool. And the pinch tool is one I'm still getting used to, but basically it takes seams and tries to bring them closer together. Or I shouldn't say seams, but like it tries to take like this object of the cheek and then the side of the nose. And if I draw right here, it sort of literally like pinches or collapses them together for a more detailed shape. Let me see if I can inflate the brow ridge and kind of get, yeah, that's more what I was looking for. And you can even do like the eyelash line if you have a character who has like really defined eyelashes. Now where I've really seen this program work some miracles is if you have a character, let's say, actually real quick, I just want to one second, I'm just going to make it so the eye is not so buggy. That's a little better. So let's say you have a character that has horns. So for like people who have fan characters from Homestuck or who have like deer antlers and stuff, I think this would be a really excellent program to use for that. So you could like do these cool horns. So I just used the inflate tool and now I'm going to grab and make sure your brush isn't too big. See, if I had it this big, it would just like move the whole forehead. You don't want that. You would just want to take a little bit and just kind of extrude out. Just got a little flat while I was extruding, but you can see you can get pretty creative with this. You can get kind of wild. Okay, so there's some horns. I want to get really wild with this nose. Do kind of like Cedric the Sorcerer from Sophia the First there, with like demon horns. So here we go. Here's another thing we can do with ears. What I like to do is use the crease tool to kind of lightly sketch where my jaw would be. Okay, and then draw in an ear. Now, admittedly, I haven't done too much with ears. I don't consider them to be like a huge concern. I'm pretty good at drawing ears at this point. But if you feel like this is something that you need to have on your model to make it sing for you, then by all means do it. Ain't nobody gonna tell you your business. You just put as many ears and horns and feathers and whatever's on your model. Gonna save real quick. Just doing a little bit of smoothing. It's like right there, I would smooth that out. There was like a little mark. Now you're gonna have to kind of ears are tiny little detailed things. You're going to have to kind of finagle the ear away from the head. And then what I like to do, and I'm sure there's some computer modeler out there who's watching me and they're just like, no. I like to crease in here. Behind the ear. And then just keep pulling away. Oh, I'm getting a funky looking ear here. This is what I get from not working from a reference. Let's go crease. Oh, this is such a bad looking ear. I apologize. Oh. Try to round it out some. I think this is probably the first detailed ear I've done ever. So yeah. What I'd really like to do is get this eye socket a little more defined. Oops, no. Also, Control Z works, but I have yet to find like an undo or a redo, I guess would be the correct. I've yet to find that, so I'm not sure how you Like, I think it would be Control Y in Photoshop if you like wanted to redo something. And then let's also inflate the sides of the nose. And let's put a pinch right in there. Alright, so there's our weird demon horned guy. I apologize that this is a little rough, but I think in about 20 minutes that's not too bad of a model. I think it's something that you could clearly work with or use for an art reference. I think the top of his head needs to come up a little more. And these eyes, they're just really bugging me. But, as you can see, like, let's say you wanted to draw your character like that, like you had him like looking off in the distance or something, this would make reference so much easier. Like, how this all fits together, like, how you can see just the side of his cheek right there above his lips and everything. Like, it really does just, it makes your life so much easier. So now let me show you some ones that I have already done. So let's go to open. Don't worry, I've saved that. Let me go down, where's my models? And let's look at Rose 2, I believe. You see. So this is my character Rose. This is the first model I did, but this is an example when I say, like, these are her bangs, and they're just a really big round shape, and it's nice to have them on the model because then I can see like exactly how it would look. And as you can see, this is pretty rough. There's like a lot of lines, and you know, I wasn't totally sure what I was doing, so for that, or despite that I should say, I think it turned out okay. And her bangs are actually a separate object, and if you hit Control, oops, I forget how to just select one. It's not doing it right now. I'm having a moment here, but that's okay. So there's one character, and then let me open Hue. New scene. Okay. There we go. Oh, that's a little close. Again, this is a really rough model, but it's so handy for reference because I always had trouble drawing my characters from like really unusual angles and things like that. And you can see I even got a little fancier with this one, and move him into the center, and I did his shoulders, and or like the, well, not quite his shoulders, but just out a little ways, and I also did like a clavicle and things like that as for reference. But it's so much easier to have these rough models for reference. Okay, so that is pretty much the end of the tutorial. I don't know much more about Sculptris that would probably be any help, so I hope this will help you make some rough models to use as reference for, you know, people or objects or whatever. So yeah, I really enjoy using this. Go look up some other tutorials if you want to get really detailed and like do rigging and exporting and all that complicated model-y stuff. But I hope this one would help you for just basic stuff. Alright, see you guys, bye!